TikTok, with its viral dance routines and political activism videos, is a favourite among teenagers worldwide. But with more than 2 billion downloads and $17 billion in revenue last year, the app is extremely successful and influential. But its exploding popularity has also raised red flags. In the US, officials are investigating whether TikTok is a threat to national security. There are concerns that the data collected by the app, owned by the Chinese firm ByteDance, could be accessed by Beijing. The company denies any connection with the Chinese government. But Donald Trump is threatening to ban the app in the US.
We're looking at TikTok. We may be banning TikTok. We may be doing some other things. There are a couple of options, but a lot of things are happening. So we'll see what happens. But we are looking at a lot of alternatives with respect to TikTok.
One of those alternatives is for ByteDance to give up its ownership of the app. Potential buyers are reportedly already in talks to take over, including tech giant Microsoft. In the face of presidential threats, TikTok US assures its influencers and audience that this is not the end.
We've heard your outpouring of support and we want to say thank you. We're not planning on going anywhere. TikTok is a home for creators and artists to express themselves, their ideas, and connect with people across different backgrounds. And we are so proud of all the various communities that call TikTok their home.
It's not clear if President Trump actually has the executive power to ban the app in the US, but a national security review of TikTok is expected to be presented to him in the coming days.
And joining me from San Francisco is Ina Fried. She's the chief technology correspondent for Axios. Hi, Ina. Thanks for joining us. So we heard the head of TikTok USA there say, we're not going anywhere. How much of that is an empty promise?
Well, it's certainly not entirely in TikTok's hands. That's what they hope. And there's reason to think that a deal should be able to be reached. But that doesn't mean that in this administration it will happen. Who knows with Donald Trump what exactly his issue is and what will sate it, what will solve the issue for Trump.
Now, we've heard reports that Microsoft plans to buy TikTok, or at least they're in talks to do that, the U.S. operations anyway. Would that put an end to the security concerns that the U.S. government has?
Well, I would have thought so, but the administration has indicated in the last 24 hours that it doesn't solve their concerns. So I'm not really sure what their concerns are that a deal wouldn't solve, but Microsoft has apparently, and TikTok have been in talks. They thought they had a deal. They thought they had a deal that would please the White House, with ByteDance selling all of its stake, perhaps some of its non-China investors, remaining investors, and Microsoft taking over, which would seem to solve the security issues. But that doesn't appear to be enough. So it's unclear what the Trump administration wants. It's unclear what their main issue is, since if it's a national security issue, wouldn't Microsoft owning it solve that? It's really puzzling, to be honest, and I've covered tech for 20 years.
Okay, so despite the fact that it's not exactly clear what they want, what are the basic concerns that they have with TikTok in its current form?
Well, I think there's up to three concerns. The one that's being voiced is the national security concern that data of Americans could end up in Chinese hands. The two other things that are at play here that don't get talked about are the broader trade war with China. Certainly, the U.S. and China are at a low when it comes to relations, and there's a lot of threats going back and forth about companies. And then the third is Donald Trump had a rally in Tulsa, and a bunch of popular TikTok users managed to get free tickets so that the Trump campaign thought they had the rally sold out. And in fact, it was pranked, if you will. And that may be weighing on the president's mind. It may not, but that's certainly an issue underneath the covers.
Now, it's clear that this is still speculation at this point, but what would that mean for users of the app? And there's millions of them. If it was banned, would it just disappear from their phones? Like, what would that look like?
Well, it's really interesting. I mean, in theory, the administration could use emergency economic powers to stop the app from being legally distributed. So probably at a minimum would stop new people from downloading it. It's not clear whether they would force it also off the air, if you will. And then you might see users turn to VPNs because it would still be in lots of other countries. you might see some of those creators go to other services, which would seemingly play into the hands of Facebook, which just last week was the subject of antitrust hearings.
We've seen that Facebook is also interested in duplicating other apps, what it did to Snapchat, and now Instagram is trying to duplicate some of the features of this app. So could you foresee that there would be an alternative out there and that this might be one of the goals here?
For sure. I mean, if TikTok actually does get banned, I think you will see, the teens aren't going to suddenly shut their phones and go do something else. So They're going to go somewhere. It could be to a Facebook-owned rival. It could be to a new startup.
Ina Fried, Chief Tech Correspondent with Axios in San Francisco. Thank you.
Thanks.